I'm going to tweet this right now.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. Again, my name is Jeremy Quintanilla, and this is also part of our CosTalk live mashup. So you're watching this across Age of Radioverse. You're watching this across CosTalk Live and also the Geek Collective. We are here live at UwuCon 2025, and I am so excited and thankful and grateful that Mega Ran has taken the time out of his day to sit down and talk to me. You saw him perform live on Friday night. We live streamed that. He also did a performance last night. But to give an introduction to Mega Ran, and then we're going to go into some questions. He's a teacher, a rapper, hero, dad. He's a former teacher turned hip hop innovator, also a Guinness World Record holder, a gaming culture icon. And from his Mega Man inspired Capcom approved album to his book Dream Master, he also now has chart topping kids music. Mega Ran continues to blend education, gaming, and hip hop to inspire fans around the world. Now, he recently released the children's album Buddy's Magic Treehouse, which is the follow up to his first children's album, Buddy's Magic Toy Box, which debuted on the billboards at #2 for kids music. So, Mega Ran, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me. How has your experience been so far at UwuCon?
It's been great. First of all, thanks for that amazing intro. It made me sound pretty epic.
You are epic.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it's an honor, man. Like, what I get to do, like doing this, the thing that I would do for fun and for free, as a job is pretty insane. So, UwuCon's been awesome. This is my first time. I remember hearing about it during, I think I was doing a different gig, and they were vending there and just telling people about it. And I was like, oh, this sounds like something I need to be a part of. And now, fast forward, I'm here, and they won't be able to get rid of me now. Like, I'll be back for as many of these as they'll have me for, because this is awesome.
Yeah, have you had a chance to walk around some of the convention? I know you've mainly been performing when you're here, so have you had
pretty
time to
much.
see it and be a part of it or go to any of the panels or anything?
Yeah, yesterday I did. I walked around. I saw the cosplay, a little bit of the cosplay contest, a little bit of different panels going on. I missed the big panel. I was really sad. The Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, the
one.
Cowboy Bebop one.
I wanted to see that so bad.
Yeah.
Just like that's a show that like made me who I am almost.
Yeah.
But I did get a chance to see Steve Bloom and Bo Billingsley just walking
Nice.
around, and they were very nice. So that was cool. And so, but yeah, like just seeing all the cool cosplay and the events happening, it's a bigger con than you think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, we are gracious and blessed to have your son next to us as well.
Yeah,
So-
he's just off screen, but you can certainly hear him.
Yeah, you can certainly hear him, and that's perfectly okay. That's
yeah,
awesome because I actually want to talk a little bit about him and your kids' albums for
Yeah.
this interview.
Okay.
But before we get into that, I would be interested. So tell me about this story. So you have been doing hip hop for, I think when I was listening to you on Friday, for at least almost 20 years now, probably
Almost,
even
man.
longer than that.
I mean, just for fun,
Yeah.
like just lunchroom rapping, freestyling, then going into recording my first songs and making beats and things. It's been about a 20-year journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 20-year overnight success story. I tell
Yeah,
people.
right. Yeah, and that overnight success story, that's real. People see it and they think that it just happens, and you're like, no, I've been doing this for 30 years or whatever the case
Yeah.
is.
No one sees the behind the scenes
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like, and even now, like what I do, people say it looks so easy, it looks so fun, but it's always, I liken it to like a duck on
Right.
the water, where it's like I'm floating so effortlessly, but underneath I'm pedaling real fast.
Yeah.
I'm moving those feet because as an independent artist, you are the promotions, you're
Right.
the producer, you're the advertiser, you're the performer, you're the, like, you have to do everything.
Yeah.
And so this weekend, even, with a local convention that I live close by to, like, I still have to do everything. And set up,
Yeah.
I'm a merch guy. I'm the,
Right, yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
So, you wear a lot of hats in this independent struggle, but like, I love it because I'd rather do this than anything else. So that's
Yeah.
where the bottom line is.
And so with that, you started off, because the music that you're doing now, obviously children's music, but like some of the main albums that you've had over the years has been nerdcore, which is like geek culture type of stuff that's in the raps themselves. But were you doing other type of hip hop before that? And how did it get into being like the nerdcore or the geek culture?
Yeah, I think, anybody that starts off rapping, you just kind of you begin with what I used to call me raps. You're just talking about yourself. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm so
Oh,
cool and I'm
that's a good
so
point.
hip, you know.
Yeah.
And then later you move into like, oh, I'm going to talk about a story or a thing that inspires me. And then later I'm going to talk about another thing.
Yeah.
And then so
And that's perfectly okay.
and then you're interrupted by your kids. No, but yeah, it just evolved. I wrote one song about Mega Man, and I played that last night. I was
Yep.
really cool to do that.
Was amazing too.
And then people were like, "Hey, I think this is nerdcore," and I was like, "Wait, what is that?" And then I
Yeah.
started looking it up, and there's this guy named MC Frontalot who started a subgenre called nerdcore, where it's like rap for the kids who aren't the coolest kids in the room,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
And so making something that was relatable to me. I was never the coolest kid, so so then I started kind of swaying my music in that direction, but still using some of the hip hop sensibilities that I'd grown up, you know, loving.
Right.
And yeah, I just found the home within that community of nerdcore artists.
Yeah.
And then since then, nerdcore has kind of blown up and risen, you know, with YouTube and things like that. There's guys who rap about Pokemon and, you know, do amazingly huge numbers, you know. And so yeah, just finding my path within that world has been a real fun journey. And so yeah, it's just the evolution. Like the music's always been clean, it's always been fun, it's always been about positivity and lifting yourself up. But now it's within the, you know, scope of children's.
Right.
You know?
And that's the one thing that I did enjoy about your music, not only with the children's focused albums, but all of your music. It seems very uplifting and positive.
I try to say there. I started to say positive because like I didn't have a lot of that growing up, you know.
Yeah, and so with the you recently became a father, okay? And when I was reading a little bit online, it kind of put that when you guys decided to have a child, you mentioned this the other night too, that it was inevitable that you started making children's music because you were going through the things that were going on with you becoming a father.
Oh yeah, because it's like now I want to play some of the kids' tunes, and when I play them, I'm like, well, I don't hear anything about like how to be a good friend or eating your fruit or things like that.
Right.
So I started trying to create the music that I couldn't find.
Right.
You know, that's really what it turned into. It's like, let me make the songs that I can't find on the internet and do them for him or for any other kid who might benefit from that.
Yeah, so some of the songs that are on Buddy's Magic Treehouse is things like "Brush Them Teeth," which it seems like it's geared towards having kids brush their teeth. But did you do? So my question is, with that, did you do that so you could play it for your son? Was it kind of like a mixture of things that you were trying to do for your son, or also things that you just saw that were missing in kids' music in general?
A lot of it was for him. Like he didn't like brushing his teeth.
Right.
So
and I
was
still
like,
have a problem brushing.
well, can I play the song? You know, and then when I play the song, he's like, okay, and then he gets a little more into it. So that helped me at home, and that was my main goal. Was like, let me make something that will help make things a little easier in the house.
Right.
You know, and that's really what I was thinking about. You know, and then other parents would tell me, oh, I play this for my kid when they brush their teeth. I play, you know.
And that's what I was going to ask. So other parents are listening to that, and then they're playing it for their kids as well.
Yeah, that's really what I've discovered, even through nerdcore. Like, I just wrote songs about being the nerdy kid who grew up in a world that wasn't welcoming to that.
Yep.
And then trying to find my way in it. And then I put it out in the world, and then people would contact me and say, dude, that was me.
Yeah.
I was that same kid who loved video games, comic book, anime, but I had to hide it, you know, for fear of, you know, bullying and things like that.
Right.
And so that was all I was doing, was just speaking from my perspective. And luckily, you find out that you're not alone in this world. Like, there's just so many people who are going through the same thing in other parts of the world or country, and they find the music and they relate to it, which is awesome. But it was just like a bonus, you know. I just wanted this guy to brush his teeth. You know?
Well, that's so. What's also interesting about that. So I was listening to Buddy's Magic Treehouse multiple times, trying to kind of get an idea of some of the songs that were there for the children, and then to kind of like open up my eyes to some of your lyrics more than from what you played on Friday and Saturday. And so when I was going through that, one of the ones that stuck out to me was "You're Enough," and in that song, it sounds like you're talking almost to yourself, like you being enough for yourself, but then also trying to teach that it's okay for people to like the things that they like, the things that they're doing, that they are enough for themselves. And I'm going to be 42 on Tuesday, and even for me listening to that as a children's like a children's song, I was like, man, this is really uplifting. That makes me actually feel better about myself. And so I kind of want to go into that. Are you talking about yourself also when you're doing those things, from things that you experience, and then saying that, okay, these are things that I experience, let me put them into song, song so that they can uplift, other people's children, so that those kids know that they're enough and it's okay for them to like what they like.
Yes, basically, I'm creating the song that I wish I had when I was 10.
Correct.
You know what I mean? I started off, and I've had other musicians come to me like, oh, you're really good at inserting yourself into the story, like making sure that people know that you experienced this. And I did that as a teacher. I would when I'm trying to teach somebody something, it would be reminding me of a thing that I went through in my own life. And I say, well, here's a lesson I learned. And those anecdotes can really help kids to relate to you a little bit. You're like, oh, you were a kid once? Like, you actually went through these things? And yes, I did. So I literally start off that song. I like pro wrestling. I like it a lot. All my friends ask me, don't you know it's fake? I like what I like. I didn't come to debate. I enjoy weird things. I used to be afraid, So, yeah, letting people know that, yes, I was very scared of sharing my loves with real people and them teasing me about it. And now, even on stage, it's like, all right, if you got me for 30 minutes, then you're going to come into my world for 30 minutes.
Right.
So I'm going to talk to you about all the weird things I love, like wrestling and fruit and, all the comics.
And you do a lot of good crowd work, and you're going to be playing so during the crowd, thank you. When you were playing at UWuCon, you did a lot of crowd work, getting the crowd involved. You have a show coming up this week at the Van Buren.
Yes.
And at the Van Buren here in Phoenix, Arizona, downtown. That
With the
do
Living
you do
Tombstone. Which are a huge act.
Yeah.
So I get to open for them, which is
That's
amazing.
so awesome.
I think it's in the car. Okay, we're gonna get it in like 10 minutes.
And so when you're at the Van Buren, are you doing the same type of crowd work? Like, are you getting
Yeah.
people involved? Because you had the crowd saying Nani, which is
Yeah.
what in Japanese, and then you had the crowd saying Zephyroth, which is one of the villains in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And so do you do that at the big events?
As
Or
much as I can.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to involve the crowd because you're giving them a moment that maybe they'll remember, and they'll be able to be like, oh man, this guy, he rapped about the thing that was on my shirt. Like, oh man, he shook my hand. Like, he came out to the crowd. Yeah. Like, in a situation like last night where I'm on the floor and we're in a circle, it's very intimate. And so I'm trying to make sure I make a connection with everybody. So that's going to be a bigger show on a bigger stage. So, I'll do whatever I can to make a connection. So if it means coming down into the crowd, like if I'm able to do it, I have to talk to the staff first usually before I do stuff like that. But there's always a moment where I come into the crowd, we make a circle, and we get to know each other, So that's just something that I enjoy to do because I think it's important to get to know people. Oh, and it's in the car. It's too far away. We're going to get it though. Don't worry. Okay. All right.
It's
Press some Paw Patrol.
Awesome. I'll just get a few more questions. We'll do one or two more questions. Okay, so
We're going to go get it.
Zion, I'm going to get your dad out of here in 1 second. So the last one, the two things that I want to just mention, you have a song called Library. Is it
The
Library John?
That's
Library
a
John.
Philadelphia term, the
Okay,
John.
I was curious about that. What is that term?
A John means literally anything. So it's like the thing about the library.
Got it.
So it's like, oh, let's do my library John.
Yeah.
But in Philadelphia, it's like it can be a person, place, or thing. It's like, oh, pass me the John, and you'll know because of the context of
what it is.
Man, I'm thirsty. Can you go get me a John? So
okay.
it's like it's just one of those weird Philly things that I'm trying to make it a worldwide slang.
Well, now that I know what it is, I'll try it out.
Try to work it into something.
So were you a library kid growing up? Because it seemed like one of the things that I enjoyed about that, a lot of people don't realize, besides the books, there's all kinds of resources that are available at libraries, whether it's the internet for people that don't have access to the internet, CDs, physical media, things of that nature. Were you a library kid growing up?
Yes, I didn't have a computer, so I was in there every day on the internet. Older, when I grew up, I was in there applying for jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Between that time, I would go in there to find information, encyclopedias. I was constantly in the library, man. Like, I had a library card from when I was single digits, so that's always been a part of me. Reading, my mom says I was reading by 2.
Wow.
Like, she says I've been a reader my whole life, and I just always enjoyed reading. So she had to constantly get me new books. And if you couldn't afford buying them, you go to the free library. And then later on, they had CDs, they had DVDs, then they even have video games now.
Yeah, they have everything back.
So like it's just such a beautiful place, and I want it to continue to grow and thrive by people realizing that all these resources are like right there, you know,
Yeah.
like it's, and so that's where the library
Yeah,
John came
and
from.
one of the things that I loved the lyrics that you had in that is if you're in Phoenix, you can go in there to escape the heat because it gets hot here.
It's true.
Yeah, and it's very true.
It's true, man. Like if nothing else, you can just go in there and cool off, you know.
So the last question that I have for you, and I thank you so much because I know that you need to get on with your day, so I appreciate it. You have a song about people when people go. Is that what it's called? It's entitled?
Why do people go?
Why do people go?
With Kimya Dawson is on that chorus, and it's, man, one of the hardest songs I had to write. And we had some friends on there joining me. Basically, I started writing it about like when friends move away. Like every kid goes through a point of loss.
Right.
Where, man, one of my best friends from kindergarten, Keith, I've never seen him since then, and I still think about Keith. You know what I mean? Like he was such a cool friend, and so friends will move away. People will die, like, you know, grandparents, things like that. So it's important to have a song to talk about that, and that's something I couldn't find it in children's music. Where do you find that song about loss? And I had some kids on it singing. They're the children of another great children's group called Strawberry Yaps.
Yep.
And they asked me.
I want my fun.
Okay, we're gonna get fire engine. You gotta wait, okay?
This is the last one.
Last question. It's a big one. It's important.
Yep.
And so I wanted to have the kids sing on there, and so they did. But their parents asked me, so what's the resolution? Like, how do I have this conversation with my kids now? And I'm like, ooh, I didn't think about that, you know. But I was like, well, just explain to them that people will go, people will leave their lives, but their memories will never go. So therefore, they're never gone.
That's beautiful.
You know what I mean? And so it gets me emotional even thinking about it now. Like there's times where there's so many people that I've lost in my life, but we have so many good times. And so it's like Dr. Seuss said, you know, don't be sad that it's over, be glad that it happened.
Yep.
You know, and those are the memories I try to keep with me. And those people are never gone.
That's awesome. Well,
yes,
Megaran, I really, really appreciate your time.
Of course.
I know that you're having. I know that you got some stuff to do with your kid today.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out.
You're gonna hang out, and have a good
back
time.
With Mom and hang out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to get ready for your show for Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday. Man,
Wednesday.
I did 2 straight nights of shows here, so I'm pretty
exhausted. I know. I was gonna say, that's pretty jam-packed.
Man, I hope I don't have another. You were like getting ready for your show. I'm like, oh no, I got another one. That's the first thing I thought. Like,
awesome.
Oh no, I got one today.
So real quick, so people can get your music on Spotify. Is that the best place to get it? Or
Spotify, Bandcamp as well.
Okay.
Bandcamp's probably the cheapest way, and the most profits come back towards me.
Oh, that's a good point, because you don't know this, but Spotify is my nemesis as it relates to podcasting and creators. So so I don't know why I was promoting that.
You promoted it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I didn't mention it. You did. But yeah, there's a lot to. Like Spotify is like the Walmart of this.
100%. Of everything.
It's the easiest place to go get it, but it's probably going to pay you the least. So,
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp's a good place to go.
Bandcamp.
And I get a good percentage of that, and you guys can. And I put exclusive songs on Bandcamp first that aren't anywhere else. So.
And besides that? What's the best place to find you online? Mega_ran on Instagram.
Mega_ran. I'm posting every day on there.
And you have
Facebook.
a podcast also.
Very serious about this fire engine.
You do have a podcast, right?
Wait 1 minute. I do a lot of podcasts. I'm not full time really on any podcast. I do monthly podcasts about wrestling.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
I also do almost daily streams on Twitch. So
okay, cool.
Twitch.tv/Megaran, where I'm playing games, talking wrestling, talking games, talking whatever.
Yeah.
And Megaran.com, it will give you everything, you know. And I do an X-Men podcast as well called X-Pod.
Wow. That's awesome.
With my buddy Marcos.
Perfect.
So check that out.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be back with our vendor walkthrough of the UwuCon. Again, go follow Megaran everywhere. Listen to the music. Buddy's Magic Treehouse is out now for your kids if you want to listen. I listened to it as an adult, and it spoke to me as well. So listen to it no matter what age you are. And you submitted it to be up for a Grammy.
I did submit it. We hear back in November 7th. So fingers are crossed.
Yep, fingers
Give
crossed.
us all the good juju.
I was going to say, send out good thoughts to everybody. And we'll be back in a little bit. Again, my name is Jeremy, your host of Age of Radio Mercury, your home for podcasting and pop culture news. And we will be back in a little bit with our vendor walkthrough. As I always say, be thankful, grateful, and kind. And we'll talk with you soon. Bye, guys.
I like that. Peace.